2 years. North Carolina coming off a shellacking at the hands of Ohio State. We'll get some answers today at Dorrance Field. Happy Hump Day, everyone. Thanks for spending some of it with us. Drew Carter, Quint Kasanick with you, and UNC coming off a 20-8 loss to the Buckeyes last time out.
Look, losing a non-conference game in February is no big deal, but failing to improve from that loss would be catastrophic for Joe Bresci and the Heels. This is a critical bounce-back game for this entire program.
The bright spot last time out, as he often is Chris Gray, the preseason player of the year, according to USA Lacrosse.
His skill set is just amazing and fun to watch. His ability to break down a defense, to diagnose player movement, and then to deliver strikes in terms of assists. Look at this flick pass. It's about 40 yards across the field. He reads the defense. He slow plays it. Little head and shoulder, eye fake there. He had 43 or Kelly on the wing. You see his passing skills. Then last week, look at this move. I mean, this is just ridiculous. This is like a football running back. The ability to spin, change hands, and then elevate the shot. Chris Gray has been a one-man wrecking crew for Carolina. He's been the star by far.
19 points in 3 games this year. He has been as advertised. Headliner on the other side for Brown is number 42, Ryan Augavin.
Well, you see that number 42, and you know he's a good athlete. This kid was a great high school football player, and he can go coast to coast with wheels. He's got excellent velocity on his shot. But what stands out about Ryan, swagger, attitude, and motor. He's the emotional leader of this Brown team looking for the upset.
A couple goals in the opener against Quinnipiac, a 19-13 win for Brown. Ivy League is back. Bears 1-0. Tar Heels 2-1 as we get set to go at Dorrance Field. Zach Tucci wins the opening draw for the Tar Heels, and we are underway. Carolina team that was only down 6-5 at halftime, but gave up 7 unanswered in the second half against Ohio State. Buckeyes came in unranked. Tar Heels top 5 in the country. Now Ohio State's number 8 in the nation. And as you see, UNC down to 12.
Good start by Tucci. An appetizer. No relation to Stanley.
He might have a future on the big screen, though, just with that last name. This is Henry Schertzinger, one of the 2 twins on the midfield for UNC. Right to the rack, and Connor Terriolt stands tall, backed up by Gray for Carolina.
2 biggest questions for North Carolina coming off that loss. Midfield production. Okay, their middies combined for 1 goal and 1 assist in that loss to Ohio State. And then their close defense.
And there is Terriolt with the big stop. He only played the second half against Quinnipiac in the opener, but he was very impressive. And look at the wheels from Trevor Yeboah Cody, the former New York Gatorade Player of the Year in football.
Wow, how fast. I mean, you think about Terriolt, what a smart outlet. Find 23 and let him do the work.
This is a run-and-gun Brown team under Mike Daly in his 6th year as the head coach. That's the trademark. They put up 19 in the opener.
They want to score in non-6-on-6 fashion. So that's transition from D to O. It's also using the sub game. They'll play a lot of midfielders 2 ways and try to create matchups like right now.
Here's Darian Cook, 4 goals, 4 assists in the win over Quinnipiac on Saturday. Yeboah Cody, the 2-way star.
Good look, 6'2", 205, Garden City, Long Island. He's a junior now. He's the best high school football player in the state of New York as a senior.
Devin McClain, number 29, scored 5 goals in the opener. 15 to shoot for Brian Antonelli and Brown. Five on the timer.
Yeah, they're going after Schertzinger, who looks like he's in a lot of pain. 5 in the Carolina blue.
And Brown's not going to get a shot off. Good defense from Carolina to start, and you're right, Q. Harrison Schertzinger, the senior out of Cincinnati, looks a little nicked up, and he'll head to the bench.
Looks like a hand to wrist. He was playing that entire possession in pain.
Turnover by Carolina. But they'll keep it here on the ground ball pickup from Jacob Kelly, the attackman, and one of the captains. TJ Zinsner on the attack. Pass to Cole Herbert, gets away. Bears ball.
Not a great start from Carolina. This field is slightly slick. It rained this morning. Player traction, Dorrance Field drains exceptionally well. It's a state-of-the-art facility. Some of these bounce shots, and when you see the ball skim on the grass, you know it's a little slick.
We're about low mid-60s on the docket today. Good save from Colin Krieg. First chance for Brown, turned away by the sophomore keeper in Carolina blue, and a chance in transition for the Heels. What a feed from Gray, put home. Cole Herbert strikes first.
Starts with a save or a block shot in front. Nicely done by Krieg, and then the good rebound control. Carolina's off to the races. Herbert finishes this run. He gives the ball up and then cuts the crease. And there's a vacuum there. There's a spot, a soft spot, a gap. And he catches the easy pass from Gray. Both these teams want to run, and a lot of forecasters think this game will be high scoring.
Tucci wins the draw, shoots it himself. Carolina possession. Yeah, it's a UNC offense that led the country last year in scoring offense, 16.3 goals per game on their way to a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. This is Henry Schertzinger. Another good save from Connor Terriol.
Terriol, the 5'7" sophomore from Mount Herman, Mass.
Good ride from UNC. Another chance and another goal for the Tar Heels. Nikki Solomon cashes in.
Turnovers will sting you. Brown's clear, breaks down by the midline. Heels are off to the races with numbers. This shot ricochets off the post. Solomon, left-handed, just watch it. Perfect placement. But Brown struggles in the clearing game. That's critical. Anytime you play North Carolina, they like the 9-man ride, 10-man ride. That's full court press. You can't get bogged down by the midfield line.
It's a solid start for Carolina. Bouncing back from that loss to Ohio State. Tucci is 2 for 2 at the X today.
Heels are ready to play. You can just see it in their body language. You sense it on their bench. They had a players-only meeting on Sunday following that loss. Then they had an entire team meeting with the coaching staff. So there's a lot of soul-searching early in the year, looking for identity. I guarantee the practices were intense and focused. They were embarrassed. Ohio State ran them off the field, 20-8, scoring, what, the last 10 goals or so of the game? That second half was atrocious if you're a Carolina fan.
Pretty shocking for a team that was number 4 in the nation coming into that one. Joe Bresci said they're excited to get back on the horse today so they can learn from their mistakes and address them. What a play from Ryan O'Connell. A one-man offense makes it 3-zip Heels.
Seems like Carolina dodging to the rack with conviction. O'Connell splits the double team. Grad student from Connecticut. Watch him right here underneath. Really strong. Takes the push. The body control while he's falling to the carpet to bounce this one past Terriol. Expect success. What stands out there, Drew, he beats that initial man as if to say, I'm confident today. I'm going to the rack. I'm beating this guy. And then he dealt with the double team really well. But there's a certain confidence.
And how about Zach Tucci, 4 for 4 on face-offs today. See, last time out against Ohio State really struggled, even in that first half when it was only a 1-goal game.
Justin Ignacio of Ohio State, one of the best in the country. I think he ranks #1 right now in face-off winning percentage.
There's Chris Gray. Had an assist on that first goal. Looking again in the goal column himself. Tar Heels goals from Solomon, Kerber, O'Connell. And that one gets away from Carolina. Luke Gato scoops it up for Brown.
Carolina should be offsides. There should be a flag down.
There is a flag down. Brown will get a chance.
Heels have the extra defender. You see him parked in the middle, almost in a free safety spot, 15 in blue. He's an automatic double-teamer.
That's Antonio DeMarco, the freshman, on Ogevin right now. So here comes the extra man for Brown. Down 3-0 after the offsides from UNC.
Coach Joe Bresci, who started his coaching career as an assistant at North Carolina.
It's 2 players offsides. 44 and 15. Both are offsides. 30 seconds. 2 players in for 30 seconds.
Bresci's first assistant job after that was at Brown, where he coached for a number of years under Pete Lasagna. Led the Bears to championship weekend in 1994.
So is there just 2 offsides?
And he met his wife, Julie, up in Providence.
He told us a great story about when he knew Julie was the one, when he was shoveling snow off the roof at 9 p.m. in Providence. She showed up with a bag of blueberry muffins and a huge coffee, biggest one you can find in Providence, he said. At that moment, he knew Julie was the one. So 2 players were offsides for Carolina. So it is 2 men up for Brown.
Julie was in charge of the compliance office up at Brown, running 36 sports at the time. You think about how that industry has changed in the past 25 years.
Brown on the extra man. Back in 2020, they were 8 for 21. Shot over the cage. It'll stay with the Bears, 19 on the EMO. Cook's got it. George Groh. Nice look. Brown's on the board. Devin McLean with 5 in the opener has their first today.
The extra man, time not on their side, dwindling. But how about this look? What a pass. George Grell thread the needle, slice through the defense.
People assume they can't afford great insurance, but State Farm has surprisingly great rates that fit any budget.
Just like people assume that we have this huge research staff that's feeding us stats.
The pick and roll? It's the Pythagorean theorem in reverse.
Tune into the NBA on ESPN, presented by State Farm.
Check out this verbo. Come on. Now I'm here. Now you're here. Can go on 'cause I am right where I belong.
His last game before COVID shut down the 2020 season was a pretty impressive performance from the Bears. A comeback win against UVA, who went on to win the national championship last season. It's a proud Brown program and a really good roster, Q.
Cavaliers jumped up 8-2 in this game, but Brown just kept coming back with Luke McCaleb. Goalie Phil Goss, who's probably watching us from New York City right now at Oak Hill Partners. But a big win. Unfortunately, the season got shut down, the next Wednesday or Thursday? And what could have been for that Brown team back in 2020.
Yeah, that game was on March 8th. They were 3-2. Mike Daly in year 6 with the Bears came over from Tufts and actually replaced the guy he beat in that game, Lars Tiffany, at Brown.
He's a fascinating story in leadership. Okay, he played college football and baseball at Tufts, graduating in '95. He never played lacrosse. And he's adopted this up-tempo style, the style of high risk, high reward. He was going to grad school at Tufts, and the athletic director said, hey, we need you to coach as an assistant for football in Lax. That eventually led to the interim spot back when he was 26 years old. The program had been 3-25 at Tufts prior. Well, all he did by the time he got out of Tufts, 3 NCAA championships.
2010, 2014, and 15, but his team is now down by 3 goals as Carolina scores again. This time it's Lance Tillman getting some more action on that first midfield.
I think that was a big takeaway for Coach Bresci and Dave Metzbauer coming off the loss to Ohio State. Lance Tillman, 0. He can be a slash between attack and midfield. He's got to have more impact on this team. He's too good a player. This is a guy out of Colorado who's got blinding speed. He's had some injury issues along the way. USA tryouts, I know this fall, he got banged up. But last year, at the end of the year, his 4 goals against Rutgers in the quarterfinals was one of the keys to getting this team to championship weekend. Tillman needs to make an impact.
Back on the board after those 3 points against Colgate, only points of the season. Right now, Q, I think the story, though, for UNC is Tucci in the faceoff circle, 6 for 6.
Tucci, Avon Old Farms, the senior, he's in a rhythm. His clock in his head, he's reading the official's call, he's winning the whistle, he's been clean with the clamps. When they give him some outlets to his wings, he's been content to rake it back to Connor Marr. Tucci has been dominant.
Carolina has cashed in. They've scored on their last 3 shots.
I actually looked up in the offseason
there
to see if Tucci was related. Zach was related to Stanley, which is one of my favorite shows. I love travel and I love food. It's shot so beautifully. Doesn't make you want to go to Italy. I don't know what will. A far better cook than Kark.
Who's a better barber, though, is the question.
Kark, no doubt. I tell you, this Brown team could use a barber. We got to get a match between Kark and this Brown team.
Yeah, they definitely have some wet salad after the rain in Chapel Hill earlier today. It's flowing. Up and down action here. Brown with the ball gets it to Devin McClain.
Gatos has flashed now twice, 18, Brown, the left-hander off the carpet. Good feet, good hands. You can see why he's a playmaker in transition.
There's Ogevin.
Krieg took that one off the body. A good look at Colin Krieg, the lefty from Ward Melville, sophomore.
15 saves Saturday against Ohio State. Can't stop that one, though, as Devin McClain is keeping the Bears in this one with both goals.
McClain is slick. Watch him behind the goal. See him backpedaling, creating an angle so that when he catches that well beyond the center of the goal, he's got a head start to the post. And the defender, who's in that double team posture, then has to cut across the front of the goal, and it's just not a good math equation defensively. McClain working that scenario perfectly, the way he backed out and then attacked as a right-hander.
He went low like Flo Rida there for his second goal of the game after 5 against Quinnipiac on Saturday. Another win. Tucci, number 7, is 7 for 7, tries to finish it off himself. Zach Tucci went 4 for 15 Saturday against Ohio State.
He got banged up in the Richmond game. New Hampshire native. I love the Carolina's depth at that position with Andrew Tyre and Chase Mullins. Gunty and Tyre have a history. So many of these guys in New England probably know each other real well.
Yeah, Matthew Gunty, the Brown face-off man, and Andrew Tyre,
Yeah, they're
All the
Northern
guys in
Virginia.
there for UNC.
Those
Yeah.
guys, that's a Northern Virginia, D.C. high school club relationship. Chris Gray looking for a non-shiny, slick lacrosse ball.
Yeah, it's a little wet out there at Dorrance Field. Bears lock it down, and they keep it in play. And now they'll move in transition. The thing is slippery out there.
Carolina's done a nice job of contesting the ride in the middle portion of the field, but not putting themselves out on a limb to where they're shorthanded underneath. So Brown has 0 transition goals so far. It's a big win for the Heels.
There's Devin McClain, who's got both those tallies for Brown. Number 29, trying to go for the hat trick a little high.
306 points. Westfield, New Jersey high school record. Good feet, excellent wheels, and IQ.
Darian Cook, first non-McClain Bear to score, and it's a 1-goal game.
This was the recipe that drove Ohio State to the big victory last week. You've got to attack the North Carolina close defense. Okay, they're all inexperienced. Paul Barton's a freshman, highly recruited, but number 24 is a rookie from California, and that's smart from Cook. Off the restart, he goes right to the rack. There was no double team. You got to attack the Carolina close D.
Cook knows the recipe, is what you're saying.
Cook took it to the cooker.
Finally, Brown is going to win a faceoff here after Tucci won the first 7.
Ohio State made a living off of wing dodges. That is from the wing with middies. Carolina doubled. They threw the ball behind the goal to Jack Myers, and then he picked apart this defense with 7 assists. I don't like to see anything against Carolina generating from the midfield. Get the ball behind the goal. Moving pick.
Carolina will try to clear. That's really been their strength this year, 94% through 3 games. Can't get it done there, though. There's a flag, so Brown will go back on the extra man. They scored just a couple seconds after their first chance.
Seems like Brown has settled in now after a shaky start.
Q, why do you say you want to see them start the offense from behind the goal?
Because the vulnerability for North Carolina is the close defense. I think their midfield defense is excellent, North Carolina.
Darian Cook denied there on the question mark. Good save by Colin Krieg. But it is a flag, and so Brown will go back to the man up, even though they're 1 for 8 on faceoffs today. They only trail by 1.
Good look at Colin Krieg.
31, interference, possession, 30 seconds.
He's got that tape on his face mask. Tribute to his grandmom and uncle. Here's the foul, top of the screen. It's just a bit late.
There's the captain, Connor Marr. Well, fires, picks a corner. We're tied at 4.
It's a 1-4-1 set, and watch the inside man 2 in Brown. He rolls off. That creates a massive scene. They got a 2-on-1 on the backside. McLean makes the feed up top, and this angle will be scintillating. Watch this. Have a corner. George Grell.
George Grell, the grad student out of Short Hills, New Jersey. One of 2 grad students on that Brown first midfield. 3-0 run for the Bears. We're 1 for 8 in the faceoff circle, but have tied this game at 4. It's a violation against Brown and Gunty. Carolina back on offense. Easy money for Terriolt on the shot from Alex Bresci.
It's good poise on the clear and a strong run out by George Pike.
Bears have scored 3 goals in a row in about a 4-minute span.
The last 8 minutes have been more of the anticipated or expected tempo of this game, which many thought would be a track meet.
Let's get a 10 call. 10. 10.
Brown turns it over. 10 for UNC, who can run. Solomon looking. Tried to feed Gray, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Tied up at 4 after 3 straight from Brown to end the first.
When I was 7, my mother was murdered.
Our scars can destroy us.
Maybe we're not so different after all.
Yeah.
Read those latest. It's all about the Waynes. I can help you. The bat and the cat. It's got a nice ring.
If you cross that line, you'll become just like me. They'll throw your life away.
Don't worry, honey. I got 9 of them.
The Batman, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX. Only theaters March 4th.
We're coming for you, Lucky.
This St. Patrick's Day, me clover charms turn milk green.
Where'd he go? We must have made a wrong turn.
Turn your milk green with these special Lucky charms. They're magically delicious.
Carolina to start, but 3 straight Brown goals have tied it at 4.
Devin McLean, a nice little 2-man game, turns the corner. Then Darian Cook himself, extra man. What a scintillating pass. George Grell sticks a corner. 7 Carolina turnovers in that first quarter led to a Brown comeback. Things weren't looking good at 4-1, and suddenly it's 4-4. So Brown and Mike Daly dusting off the road rust. Carolina looking for answers coming off their loss to Ohio State.
Yeah, UNC dropped that last one 20-8 against a previously unranked Ohio State team. That was on Saturday. Joe Bresci and company excited to get back at it on a Wednesday to flush that one. They held a players-only meeting on Sunday. The seniors organized it as they look to bounce back here.
Every year you have a different team. And this was a team last year that played at a high level every single game of the year. Even their losses last year were epic and came down to the last 20 seconds of the game. So learning how to play 60 minutes with this new group, cleaning up the defensive issues because of inexperience, finding midfielders who can go to the goal and make an impact. Lots to learn in February as we get this season underway.
Yeah, these teams are going to look completely different a couple months from now as Tucci wins another faceoff. Keep in mind, it's a Carolina team that a few years ago became the first unseeded team ever to win the NCAA tournament. So they can figure it out and have things click in a hurry.
2016 champs. That was the same year that Brown made their last championship weekend under Lars Tiffany. Lost to Maryland in the opposite semifinal that year.
Dylan Malloy won the Tewaaraton that year for the Bears. There's Gray. He heard the word Tewaaraton, wanted to get involved. His first goal of the day.
Chris Gray hunts the right play. You know, his decision-making process is stellar. He's a man of few turnovers. He'll catch this. He senses that the defense is not respecting him on the front swing. And rather than waste time and give the goalie all sorts of multiple fakes and pumps, he just catches it and snaps that one over Terriel's head. A humble superstar.
Joe Bresci speaks so highly of Chris Gray. Told us a little bit about his visit, and he was transferring after a couple of years at Boston University. Walked in, held the door for his family, firm handshake, button down and slacks kind of guy. Very polite individual.
He's going to be an incredible pro in the Premier Lacrosse League. This year, his biggest challenge, honestly, will be leadership.
Brown ties it up again. Brian Antonelli is on the board with his second of the season.
Senior who's savvy on the inside. Brown has success attacking these Carolina close defenders. That's the weakness of the defense. As I said earlier, Carolina midfield defense is stellar. Down low, not so much. Communication mistake, poor execution defensively. Antonelli.
Antonelli's got goals in back-to-back. First career goal against Quinnipiac on Saturday in a 19-13 win for Brown, who only played one game last year, a 12-5 win over BU, the only D1 game anyone in the Ivy League played last year.
I thought it was amazing that Coach Daly, how actively they were trying to pursue a 5-game season to hopefully go 5-0 and represent the Ivy League in the NCAA tournament. They held out hope all spring, really. But scheduling snafus, COVID cancellations, they could never get it over the hump. But they were able to get 40 to 50 practices in, which should be beneficial, especially early in this campaign. And they were able to send their seniors out, Drew. Guys like Luke McCaleb and Phil Doss had a final game. They got a final W after, you know, what was just a torturous final 12 months of their career.
Joshua Tillman goes high. It'll stay here with Carolina. Yeah, Phil Goss, you mentioned him earlier there, Q. He was a 5-year starter between the pipes. We talked with Mike Daly about his starting goalkeeper situation this year. He said, it's new for me. Never had to worry about it. It was always Goss.
Plug and play, Phil Goss. I think he can play in the Premier Lacrosse League. That's how good I always thought. He was honorable mention twice. But man, with the playing style here, super smooth, really light on his feet, cool as a cucumber, nice outlets. He's got a big-time job in Manhattan now at Oak Hill Partners. He's probably watching our game on his phone right now. Best of luck to you, Phil. You ever want to get that stick out, man, come to Baltimore, I'll shoot on you. I'll be your agent.
Yeah, Phil's probably got the phone propped up in the cubicle right now, or maybe in the office.
I'm telling you, this game is viral on Wall Street. Wednesday afternoon standalone lacrosse game. Come on, man.
Tied at 5 as Ryan Augevin shoots wide. They've scored on now 4 of their last 7 shots. 8 turnovers, by the way, for Carolina compared to 6 for Brown. It's funny when you Google these Brown players when you're prepping the game, all their LinkedIn pages come up. It's like, oh yeah, partner on Wall Street, partner on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was recruited by Brown, and Dom Starge was the head coach. He wrote the most beautiful recruiting letters, the most convincing recruiting letters. And B, at Brown, you didn't have to declare a major. You could really take whatever you wanted. That was appealing.
Good save.
Build your own major? You kidding me? Can you imagine, Drew? Building your own major?
They don't have majors, they have concentrations at Brown. It's another turnover for UNC, their 9th of the day. Look inside, Cook had it batted away.
That was the right idea transitionally. Nice job by Carolina's defense. But you can see that's how Brown wants to flow right there. Yeah, it was unsuccessful, but that's their style. They're not going to pull the ball out, wait for substitutions, and work it around for a low percentage shot after 45 seconds. They want to seamlessly go. They want to flow from D to O.
The offense is really stalled for the Heels. Only one goal in their last 11 minutes with 6 turnovers, and there's a save from Terrill.
That should get punished. That's a bad shot.
It was Antonio DeMarco, the freshman out of PA. There's Darren Cook. 4 goals and 4 assists in the opener, and that is his second today. It's good. Brown leads for the first time.
Starts with a great save by Terry Alt in the outlet. Cook just inside rolls, dives across the tangent of the crease. He's outside the goal mouth. This is close, but this goal counts. He's taken on the freshman, takes him to the rack, and watch the dive to increase his angle. This is well done. He's allowed to land in the crease. He's just not allowed in that inner circle. The ice cream cone on the inside.
The tangent of the goal. Q, speaking of majors, did you major in calc at Hopkins?
Hardly. I think I had to withdraw from a stats class, but my mom was a high school math teacher.
That explains a lot.
And my daughter's in 7th grade, so her math skills have never been sharper.
It all comes back, right?
Re-education, it's an amazing phenomenon.
Turnover by Brown, their 7th of the day compared to 9 for UNC. Bears in front for the first time today.
Tell you one thing about this Brown program, whether it's
good luck and a good finish for Carolina. That's Matt Wright, the junior.
Carolina transition, a little slow break here. Matt Wright finishes the rush. He's a terrific athlete. Matt Wright, probably the fastest player on the field from Ontario. He can play box. He's going to be a player for the Canada U21 Sixes team. He's going to Ireland next summer to represent Team Canada. He's got a motor. He's a playmaker. And the Heels need his offense. Matt Wright.
It's a pull goal for Matt Wright to tie it back up at 6. 3rd tie of the day. Another face-off win for Tucci. 10 face-off wins for UNC, 4 for Brown.
What I was saying about Brown is that they've always had a hard-nosed culture. Brown State. Dom Starsia, Pete Lasagna, Coach Nelson, and Lars Tiffany, and now Coach Daly. A proud history. Had some big years and some great players.
Dylan Malloy, the latest, Tewaaraton winner in 16. Led them to their second Final Four in program history, the first back in '94 when Brescia was on the staff.
That team could have won the national championship had Malloy not gotten hurt in a blowout win over Johns Hopkins when they're up by like 10 goals. He should not have been in the game. They beat Navy in the quarters. They lost to Maryland in overtime in the semis. They easily could have won the national championship. Guys like Larkin Kemp, Will Garral facing off, Alex Tullett, of course their goalie, Jack Kelly.
All the Brown fans right now are having flashbacks. And why you got to bring that up?
They had the perfect mix for a transition team. Difference maker in the pipes who could outlet. And then even if they gave up goals, Will Garral won the next faceoff. So it was transition lacrosse on major juice. And Lars Tiffany rode Bruno, #Brown State, to championship weekend.
Tied at 6 here. Timeout on the field.
What's up, Jones? Jones.
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 Great top 10 matchup between number 9 Syracuse and the two-time defending national champs number 2 Virginia. Our coverage starts at noon Eastern from Klockner Stadium right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Doing that game in person. Chris Cotter and Paul Carcaterra will be down at Klockner. I hope the band shows up. Weather's going to be a little nippy, but it's going to be interesting. Virginia's kind of banged up right now, but man, Connor Schellenberger's just tearing it up. Peyton Cormier. And I thought the Orange really played their guts out on Sunday night in that loss to Maryland. Gosh, it's the hardest I've seen them play in a long time. So a lot to be thankful for if you're a Cuse fan with the new regime with Gary Gate. And let's see if Tucker Dordevic can get his traction on a wet Klockner surface.
Thank you. How much fun was that opener for Syracuse? 28 goals against Holy Cross. It looked like Gary Gate was playing out there, not just coaching.
Yeah, Holy Cross has kind of struggled this year. I was really impressed with what I saw from Syracuse, just from an attitude, energy. They fought Maryland. They really did. They're outmanned compared to a team like Maryland, quite honestly, in my eyes. They just don't have the offensive weapons. But man, they just played so tough. Bobby Gavin, Brett Kennedy, Jacob Falk facing off. This is a foundation for Coach Gate.
Open look, and what a save from Colin Krieg.
Oh, that was awesome. Krieg didn't flinch from the inside. He just matched up stick on stick. He's had to stand tall in the face of all sorts of Carolina turnovers in this game.
It's the sixth save of the day for Krieg. Brian Antonelli was right there in his kitchen.
Krieg never shows emotion, man. He's like Mr. Relaxed. See him in between during commercials dancing to the music on the PA.
Get up, Kev! Get up, Kev! Get up, Kev!
Got a thick Long Island accent, I'll tell you that much.
He'll sing his own music between the pipes.
Chris Gray's got a matchup here. This is dangerous. Press record. You never know what he can do.
Gray inside. Kelly off the pipe. Brown will clear it.
Let's go, Terry!
Bears now 10 for 12 on clears today. Ogilvin's been quiet.
Matchup.
2 goals for number 2, Darian Cook, already today.
Good job by Pryor on D.
And the transfer from Hofstra. Here is Cook. That's dangerous. Krieg stands tall again.
Back to back. Not only point blank saves, but rebound control. Krieg's doing it all for a defense that's really struggling from behind the net.
Huge hit on the UNC side. George Pike came in, laid the boom.
Krieg's been outstanding in this quarter. Brown shooting now 2 of 7. Here's the foul.
Just planted Ty English, the freshman out of Canada.
Good look at George Pike, senior. Avon Old Farms, the Wing Beavers.
We got a lot of Wing Beavers on the field today.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Carolina 0 for 2 on the extra man today. And another great save from Connor Theriot. The goalies came to play, that time denied P.J. Zinsner. Good defense from Carolina. Number 90, Blake Gable, the sophomore out of Sykesville, Maryland. $15 on the EMO for UNC. Gray. Carolina 2 for 10 shooting this quarter.
Back to all even now. Got to get the right matchup on Chris Gray. They do with Geppert.
There's Jacob Kelly. Gray, too high again.
I've been impressed with Kelly, 9 in the Carolina blue. He and Gray, side to side, lefty-righty action. It's been probably the best aspect of Carolina offensively so far this year. Little zone defense from Brown right now. Got some shot clock issues for Carolina.
Here's Kelly. With 5 to shoot, they throw it away, trying to find Solomon behind the cage. What's Brown doing defensively to throw him off?
Well, they switched, coming out of that man down. I don't think they liked their matchups in the personnel, so they sat back in a zone. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. You're asking the offense then to recognize that it's zone, get into play quickly, and like those aren't traits that happen in February. This is danger here on this restart.
Carolina on the move. Gray had it swatted away, finds its way to Kelly, who puts it home.
That's just lucky. Quite honestly, this is an ugly scenario. It's a Brown turnover. It's a Carolina run out. Brown does a nice job, but they just can't control the fumbling and bumbling ball. And Kelly's behind everybody. I mean, that looked like a middle school lacrosse game in Catonsville goal. I mean, that was, ugh.
Kelly with his 6th goal of the year. He had 3 assists in the game, and that's his first goal today.
It's been a turnover fest. 12th turnover, I believe, for Coach Bresci. You know, one thing I know he's going to emphasize at halftime is 60 minutes. Because that Ohio State game was 6-5 at the break. It was 6-5 at the break. It was like 9-7-ish, 10-6-ish, and then all of a sudden I look at my scoring sheet and it's 20-8. So playing 60 today.
What do you think happened in that second half, Q?
Ohio State found the answer by attacking the Carolina's defense. I think the face-off disparity causes some fatigue, and I think Ohio State's defense got more and more confident in the ground ball play.
Brown ties it up again.
You get the ball against this defense right now, you will score. As Adrian Enchill on the sideline celebrate, little split dodge down the alley, right to left. Kobe Gendron, biggest player in D1 perhaps, listed at 6'7", 245, the senior, heading to dental school.
Gendron raising the roof.
That's a high roof. That's a 2-story.
Can reach pretty much any roof. He was a great basketball player in high school. He scored in the 98th percentile on the DAP, the dental school test, hoping to get him to Tufts. That's what Mike Daly told us.
Daly pushes everybody to Tufts because he went there and coached there. I think Tufts Dental is an outstanding dentistry school. I have some high school classmates who took that route.
You go up to Medford. Yeah. Hit Dempsey's. Get yourself a toasted muffin.
Good poke.
Another great play from Brown defensively as Silas Newsom, the double deuce, came in with that big pole, the 6'5", 215 senior.
Nothing scarier than a 6'5" lefty with a handful of titanium. Pitt women hosting a game on Thursday. Dana Boyle in Pittsburgh right now, getting ready for that. Historic season for the Pitt Panthers.
Gendron tried to score a second in a row. Krieg's been good today for Carolina. A lot of
Krieg
contact over there.
Yeah, Krieg sold that one. What a good goalie does. Become friends with the officials. Buddy all game, and then sell it hard when you get hit. Next thing you know, the laundry flies.
Q, you still stay in touch with your officials' friends, right?
I do. I was texting with Matt Palin yesterday about face-off mechanics.
Yep.
Very helpful. Okay, you got a flag down here, which denotes possession for Carolina. You got a game clock at 30 seconds.
Here's Henry Schertzinger. Good to see him back out there. He was banged up in that first quarter. The senior out of Cincy. Shot was from Ryan O'Connell. Backed up by Carolina. And they will go to the extra man to end this first half.
Round 4, interference 30. Round 4.
George Grell with the interference. Look at Creed. They call interference on this. Interesting. They didn't call unsportsmanlike conduct. They call interference. Look at Krieg, man. He's all in. He loves the weight room. It's a great podcast. Lax Goalie Rat podcast with Colin Krieg. Talks about his mohawk haircut, his analytic mind, how he gets invigorated by getting hit by the ball. Got that heavy Long Island accent that I love so much.
So we'll go to the break tied at 7. As Carolina led 4-1 in that first quarter, Brown tied it at 4, and we're tied again at the end of 2, Q.
It comes down to executing some adjustments. You know, how can Carolina improve their defense down low? How can they get more midfield scoring? I think if you're Brown, you know, some of your sloppiness on and settled sets has led to some free Carolina possessions. So, and you got to figure out the face-off game if you're Brown. You got to do a better job from the wings and try to
the circle in that first. UNC trying to battle North Carolina, looking for Brown after they trailed
in this game, but
coming off 5.
It's away. I think to the tangent of the Carolina shows the ability. I think your biggest issue has been the turnovers. 13 turnovers. It's just too much. Any day of the week, let alone on a Wednesday.
Now Carolina was on the man up to end that first half. They ate the first half of the extra man opportunity and just sat on the ball for the first 16 seconds. So now 5 to go on the extra man opportunity for the Heels. And they throw it away. So right on cue, it's what you talked about, 13 turns in the first.
Hidden ball trick. I like the play. They just don't connect. So if you're in the Carolina locker room at half, whoa, a little yard sale in Chapel Hill.
All right, Mickey Solomon, number 8, comes up with the ball.
They got a great farmers market on Sundays. Apparently yard sales are open on Wednesdays.
They definitely are in Alpharetta, Georgia for Solomon. So when Carolina's not in transition, Q, in the half-court offense, so to speak, what do you want to see from them?
I think everything's got to start with 4, Chris Gray. I hate to say it, but he should be initiating more often, or put him adjacent to the initiator. That way you're forcing his man into a double team scenario. But he's got to get more touches. The other guys so far this year just can't do it. Not to say that down the road they won't be able to do it, but because of their inexperience, got very, very few reps last season. They're still a work in progress from the midfield.
Chris Gray, personality-wise, it's not surprising if he isn't super assertive. Joe Bresci was telling us he's an incredibly humble guy. He actually cringed in the post-game meeting after the Ohio State game when he was noted as one of the bright spots with those 7 points on the 8 goals. He just doesn't like the spotlight, Chris Gray.
Krieg's been a difference maker, especially late in that second quarter. Point-blank saves, 2 of them, and that one right here. He's done a great job, the lefty. A good run out by Colin Lawhead. Slowed preseason with some injuries, back in the lineup. He's a BU transfer.
B.J. Zinsner, the 6'1 junior, will initiate. 44-4, and Chris Gray, good look inside. Kelly couldn't handle it.
That's one instance where maybe Chris is trying to do a little too much.
Wow, what a snag by Chris Gray. Zinsner, Solomon, Carolina leads.
Now you turn it over if you're Chris Gray. There's no time to mope. What do? You drop back and you make a play. Picks us off one-handed. Brown's defense is completely discombobulated. They got, nobody's checked up. Zinsner does a good job. And then Solomon, Alpharetta, Georgia, 5-hole between the wickets.
I'll tell you, Chris Gray was looking like Hakeem Nicks in the Carolina blue with that catch. Tucci again with another face-off win. Keeps it alive. Carolina can't save it.
A fast green, huh? Didn't think that ball would make the end line on grass, but they cut it tight here.
Nice slope rating on those greens. It's like glass out there.
This field does have a turtle arc to it, kind of an old school pitch.
Like Pinehurst. Donald Ross would be proud.
Woo!
Carolina's got it. Blake Gable with it in the pole.
I think that was Tyler Schwartz with the takeaway. Freshman. He and his twin brother. Part of this #1 ranked freshman class.
The Schwartz bros, both 4 stars. Carolina brought in 5 stars.
How do you separate 2 twins on that list?
Yeah, we talked about that pregame. It seems unfair to me. You got to make them like a tied for 24th, you know?
It's a matchup issue right here. Lance Tillman should take his man. 0 in blue's got a nice matchup. Now Gray has the advantage. This is trouble if you're Brown.
See all the attention Chris Gray draws. Solomon. Tillman into the side of the net. That was almost real crafty.
Dip and dunk. Terriall, the flopper, was down on the turf, but he just missed the 6x6. Brown has not looked very good in the third quarter on offense.
It's been a sloppy start to the second half. Ogevin can change that. Ryan Ogevin somehow finds Twine to tie us again.
Oh, watch this. This is completely a flukish goal. I believe the shot is deflected, changes trajectory, and Krieg just buckles. He's handcuffed. Watch it. Shot, hits the defender's stick, hits the other defender's back, and then beats Krieg. Augie Ogevin. Today's your day when you're hitting shots like this.
It's just how we drew it up, the preseason All Ivy League selection. Ogevin now on a 17-game point streak. That is first goal of the day.
Like he's Seabold. He's Max Seabold reincarnated with the mullet and the 42 and the same body type. I'm having flashbacks.
He's got a lot of swag, Mike Daly says. The emotional motor of the team. There's that tall drink of water, Colby Gendron, 6'7". He's got a goal today. McLean shot wide.
Brown's best options offensively, once again, are to get the ball behind the net. You either dodge from the wing and kick it to X behind, or get it behind. You're playing into the strengths of Carolina's midfield defense, which is outstanding. It's the close defense that has struggled.
Ogevin just scored. McLean on the quick trigger.
Shot clock at 12 now. Cook do this by himself, or are you going to give him a pick to work off of?
Cook the trigger man. 5 on the timer. Cook with 2 goals today. He's got to go. It's a good feed, just a little too late.
And a flag. It's going to be against Carolina. It's a big call.
Law had 38. Might be the guilty party. Let's see what we got.
These sting. Coach Bresci knows it.
Blue, 38, unnecessary, 1 minute. Blue, 38, unnecessary, 1 minute.
You know, playing hard. Here he comes over with the double team, and he just jacks the man up. It's much like roughing the passer, say, in football. That ball's released. It's 1,001, and the player's off limits. A shame to just lose your decision-making process there just for a fraction of a second, because Carolina actually played great defense on that scenario, that entire possession. See if they do the same 1-4-1 to a roll-off. Cook 2 will peel.
Ogevin on the doorstep gives Brown the lead. Augie with 2 in a row.
Who needs a peel when a guy's wide open in the slot area? 42, center of your screen. He's being shared by a bunch of defenders, and the splits are just wrong. The feet are planted in the turf and growing roots, and he finds a soft spot. It's like sitting down against zone coverage in football if you're a slot receiver. Kind of like an option coverage where you read the linebacker and you read the corner and find the soft spot. That's what Ogevin did there.
Looking like Cooper Kupp out there on the Brown offense. Bears 3 for 3 on the man-up opportunities. Tar Heels 0 for 3. Tucci's been dominant in the face-off circle today, 13 for 18. But his team is now down by 1 for the second time today. On the violation, it's Brown ball.
I'll tell you a trend I saw last week watching some games nationally on ESPN Plus. was these extended face-offs. I thought we got rid of that. It's continuous motion by the Fogo. You can't clamp and stay on the ball. It's got to be a continuous motion out. And the referees last weekend were not officiating that call that way. So face-offs now, the ball's meant to be played out.
Boa Cody met by Gable. You like that rule change, Q, on the face-off?
I love it.
Another good save by Krieg.
Krieg's doing his job, man. I'm so impressed with him. You know, the house is crumbling around Colin Krieg, and he just continues to deliver. Maintains that even keel, that steady, the mental approach.
There's a flag on the field with Carolina on offense. They're 0 for 3 on the man-up opportunities today.
I think it's going to be an offside. So Brown has an extra defender right now. You see the chaser.
Here's Gray. There's some room in there in that defense. Zinsner lost it, but it'll be an EMO for UNC.
Just slides across the midfield line. I don't think it was a slash or a hold, but we'll see.
30 seconds.
Offsides.
Offsides. 30 seconds.
Brian Antonelli.
Hey, yeah.
Saw Mike Daly's team 10 for 10 on killing penalties this year. UNC 0 for 3 today on the man up.
Zinser 44 near side has it at 10. Kelly's a wicked shooter from that left wing, 9 in blue. Well, there's weapons here. Plus you got Gray up top as the point guard.
Here's Solomon, 2 goals today. Gray. Another one killed off by Brown, 4 for 4. Nice look and a good finish from Cole Herbert, who's got 2 goals this afternoon.
Brown kills the penalty off, and then they're just standing around. If it's a zone, you got to cover the guy in your area and not cover grass. Good reaction by the Heels.
Check out this verbo. Come on. Now I'm here, now you're here. Nothing can go wrong, 'cause I am right where I belong.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
We got a good one here in Carolina, and don't forget ACC Men's Lacrosse Conference play begins Saturday. We got a great top 10 matchup between number 9 Syracuse and the 2-time reigning champs Virginia. Our coverage starts at noon Eastern from Klockner Stadium right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Quinn Kessenich, you will be there at Klockner Stadium. I'm curious your thoughts. UVA back-to-back champs, now number 2 in the rankings behind Maryland, even though the Cavs haven't lost this year.
I've watched all the Virginia games, and they played well. Let's see if they can turn it up a notch. They'll have to. They've got some injuries they're dealing with right now. To Jeff Connor, Matt Moore had a hamstring injury, and then their long pole, Ben Ware, is going to be out, I believe, for a little bit of time. So the midfield depth isn't what it should be, but man, they got talent. Connor Schellenberger's worth just watching because of what he can do with a lacrosse stick. Gary Gates' first trip to Klockner as a head coach on the men's side.
That is going to be a fun watch Saturday on ACC Network after the stick check of Andrew Tyre. They're back and ready for action. He wins the face-off for Carolina.
Wow, I mean, this is a face-off. We could have a 45-minute debate, lecture about that call. That was a violation against Brown for, I guess, for withholding. I couldn't really hear it. I thought Carolina was kicking the stick, and that forced the Brown player maybe to hold that clamp down a little earlier. I was talking earlier. The phrase, I think in the rule book, I believe, Matt Palin telling me, the referees are looking for continuous motion. So if you clamp on that ball, you can't just sit on it. It's got to be continuously moved out. In the official's eyes in that last draw, that wasn't the case.
Why do you like that rule, Q?
Well, I mean, we got in an era with that faceoffs were lasting 45 seconds to a minute, and you had the two players pile driving the ball into the turf like a screwdriver, just spinning around in circles while 30,000 people were watching them. I think the origins of the face-off are to create a scrum, to create an even situation where a loose ball is played. I'm a big fan of face-offs. I think face-offs are an important part of lacrosse. I'd hate to lose the face-offs. They're unique, they're exciting, they determine momentum. They allow a different type of athlete to compete in this game that normally would never see the field. I think it's all good. We just have to make sure that everyone's on board, that the rules are...
Woo! Open look, rings the pipe from Lance Tillman.
The reset to 60.
Second offensive rebound for Carolina on this possession.
Big loose ball. Look at Terriol.
The fake
big
out.
Goalie, big goalie out of his line, chasing that one down. Okay, Lacrosse has got a history of some big goalies. Guys like Jesse Schwartzman, Mike Abeles, Andy Piazza, who played at North Carolina. And of course, PLL MVP, Blaze Reardon.
What a shot from Chris Gray. Picking corners, bottom right, puts UNC back out in front.
This game's been tied at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Gray in the slot, left-handed, fluid, catch and rip.
4 points for number 4, couple goals, couple assists, coming off 7 points. Last time out against Ohio State. He's got a Hattie in all 3 games coming in.
Heels are 22-4 with Gray in the lineup. Said he's taken the next step in terms of nutrition, film, and experimenting with creativity.
The captain and the first team All-American Connor Marr chased it down. You got a snap stick. It'll be Carolina ball.
Antonelli.
Nice pickoff, Devin McLean. Oh, and Krieg snatches it out of midair.
Okay, Krieg could be Carolina's MVP in this game.
That was amazing focus. Krieg dialed in.
While backpedaling basically too.
Yeah. Whew. Colin Krieg with 10 saves today. $11 saves. That was the farthest one from the cage by far. Zinsner. Terriol with a great save on the other side.
Good save by Terriol. Talking about Blaze Reardon. They wear their sweats in a similar fashion. And then the best big goalie that I know, Sal Acasio, UMass '89. world champion, multiple Major League Lacrosse champion, and All-Star Hall of Famer. Big goalies have their place in this game.
I wonder if Terrill would ever go on offense a little bit like Blaze Reardon did a few years back when he was at Albany.
I can't see it.
That's a pretty unique play from Reardon. Oh, man. Colin Krieg is zoned in today. 12 saves now. That one right on the doorstep.
McLean shooting that kind of cross-handed or backhanded. Now, 12 saves not going to jump out at you tomorrow morning when you read the box score, but the quality, he's got 4 or 5 just gems. Colin Krieg.
4 saves in this third quarter, preventing another tie. Would have been the 7th of the day after Carolina went up 4-1. It has just been back and forth action.
Krieg likes that flat arc. He rarely flops. Taught by his dad, John. He'd spend time in the backyard. And even now, Colin's a heavy workload goalie. He's the type of guy that after practice will stay late and take extra shots, or he'll come back later in the afternoon. Carolina practices in the morning. So in the phase of his career, Colin Krieg right now, a high volume type goaltender. Loves getting shot on.
Ray had it knocked away. Oh, fancy from Kelly.
Clock now for Brown. Recognize. At least get a long distance shot. If you haven't seen the Bryant goal from this past weekend, they score from 60 yards on one of these. Fire towards the goal and crash the goal.
Bears don't get a shot off, and the Heels take a 1-goal lead to the third. Colin Krieg in his own.
Find joy in the process. Put in the extra time, and it pays off on game day. Colin Krieg does the work. He makes the big plays.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
Stuff. We love stuff, and there's some really great stuff out there. But I doubt that any of us will look back in our lives and think, I wish I'd bought an even thinner TV. Found a lighter light beer. Or had an even smarter smartphone. Do you think any of us will look back in our lives and regret the things we didn't buy? Or the places we didn't go?
It was tied after the first. It was tied after the second. Carolina leads by 1 as we head to the fourth quarter in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels 10, Brown Bears 9. Drew Carter, Quint Kesenick back with you as we check out our game summary. What stands out to you, Q?
Well, I think big picture, Ivy League's back in play. They debuted last weekend. Brown comes in here. It's a legitimate test for them coming off their win over Quinnipiac. After a slow start, they've made some nice plays. I think their attack is really skilled. Meanwhile, Carolina coming off that awful loss against Ohio State at home, 20-8 last week. Still looking for answers. Close defense. I'm seeing a little perk up of their midfield but this game's quite honestly, it's had a little bit of sloppiness to it, like you'd expect in February. Face-off domination has been a storyline. Zach Tucci has been awesome. And Carolina now turns to Andrew Tyre. Rain this morning. You see the face-off guys in their spinning, how the traction's an issue.
Yeah. It was rainy today in Chapel Hill.
Carolina
Rip from Ryan O'Connell.
Tyre on the field, top of the screen, and playing that one 5-on-5. And now they sub him off.
There's Chris Gray, a couple goals, couple assists.
Wow,
O'Connell's shot
hard,
was
man.
blocked.
That was a two-handed hatchet. These ground ball plays are awesome. Got numbers now.
Got Brown on the run and gun. Big rip. Number 5, Kevin Sweeney. Missed it there, backed up though for Brown. And the fresh shot clock, 73. Gendron has one goal today. The 6'7" sniper. Ogevin looking for a hat trick.
Shot clock issue, maybe?
Our officials today are Christopher Bynum, Andrew Smith, Shannon Godfrey.
You just said it. Hey, so he's lying? Shot clock, please. 10 on the shot clock, please. I know. He just said
10 on the time.
He just said it.
10 on the shot clock. It was reset by accident.
Mike Daly asking, how'd you come up with 10? His Bears have to go. Here's Gendron. Connor Moore on the clear. Chris Gray denied. Trying to get a hat trick for the 4th game this year. Connor Terriel stands tall in there.
Excellent team offense by Carolina. The ball movement now is crisp.
That is gorgeous. Jacob Kelly slots it home.
The best I've seen the Heels offense look so far this season in their 4th game. Just the passing. The ball's in and out of sticks. One cradle and a pass. One cradle and a pass. Everybody's moving. The ball's hot. Kelly with a slam dunk.
Jacob Kelly, whose dad, Brian, an All-American defenseman in the 80s and 90s for Carolina, played defense with Joe Bresci.
When's the light bulb going to go on? Well, maybe we're seeing that now from Carolina's offense. I got to start seeing it from some of the freshmen. It's a highly recruited, terrific freshman class. A lot of expectations. Got to start seeing some of those guys making a play here or there.
It was the #1 recruiting class in the country, according to Inside Lacrosse. 5 top 20 players.
You watched that Duke-Delaware game yesterday afternoon, as I did on my phone in the carpool line. And Andrew McAdory, #2 rated freshman for Duke, he was the best player in the field. He was outstanding yesterday.
Brown stays close again. Devin McLean has a hat trick.
He opened the scoring this afternoon. He's been clutch and tough around that goal line extended. You know, he gets to gritty areas. It's the second time we've seen him sneak, and he's a good, severe angle shooter. He's got a sense of what the windows look like. That one went 5-hole between Colin Krieg's legs. McLean, junior, Westfield, New Jersey. Big points in high school, but he's real slick around the net.
Back to a 1-goal lead for Carolina. Another face-off win for Tucci, #7, who's back out there. There's Gray, goes low, rings a pipe.
Oh, that's going to be huge.
On the run out, here come the Bears. And we're tied again.
Wow, what a turnaround.
Topher Bly, the midfielder.
I mean, it's a game of inches. You think about this shot ringing off the post directly to Gatos, who's got that good left-handed handle. And then Bly off to the races, the San Fran native on the run. And that's a 2-goal swing, everybody. We're tied up at 11.
It's our 7th tie today. 2 goals in 21 seconds for the Bears. Tucci's now won 15 of his faceoffs. He's taken 21. Red Q, those freshmen have been pretty quiet for Carolina as Gray throws it away. 19th turnover for the Tar Heels today.
We had a nice chat with Coach Bresci on Monday. You know, one of his character traits that I think is really defines Joe Bresci is the positivity. He is relentlessly a positive person and equivocally built to bounce back from defeats, whether it's in life or as a head coach. And I would love to play for a guy like Joe Bresci, who after that tough loss to Ohio State, just moving on with a positive attitude.
McLean
Get
denied.
to work, a get to work attitude, an accountable, you got to own it attitude, but certainly not a yeller, not a negative coach in any way. And I got a lot of respect for Joe.
Yeah, he was in good spirits when we spoke with him this week. Krieg, another stop. He has been a brick wall today for Carolina.
He has been good. That's 14 saves. You know, gone are the days where you punish a team for losing and you run them to death the next day. I mean, that was not far out of the equation, Drew. Back in the day in the 70s and 80s, like you lost a bad game, the next day you'd spend the entire practice doing ground balls and running the entire practice. I mean, it was miserable, quite honestly. But that's how some programs dealt with losing. You want to lose? Okay, get on the end line.
Can you remember the toughest practice you ever had?
I think we had a couple practices without lacrosse balls. It was basic cross-country practice. Time, quarter miles, 110, all to the clock. All to the clock. 17-second 110s until you couldn't feel yourself. And you know, somewhere along the line, you got to, as I was saying earlier, you got to find joy in the struggle. You got to find humor amongst your teammates. You gotta understand that it's a little short-term pain for hopefully a great feeling on Saturday.
Here's Cole Herbert with 2 goals today. In front, Zinsner, no. Gray on
nice
the question.
save.
And the answer from Connor Terriel.
He likes to flop. Watch yourself here. Watch yourself here. You better run.
Gray all over Terriel. 5-7 on 5-7.
Terriel's dad, Mark, a great pro player for the Boston Blazers, now head coach at Keene State.
Past the midway point of this 4th quarter, we are tied again for the 7th time today. That was a 12th save from Connor Terriel. And there's another one for Colin Krieg, his 15th today, and he snatches it out of midair.
Good handle there. Backpedaling to space like a quarterback in the pocket. And this game's taken on a little bit of a more half-court tempo. I mean, Brown talks about this run-and-gun offense. I put in the tape from last year. You don't really see much of it. These games are not super high scoring. And so this game has taken a much lower scoring posture than a lot of people thought. And now we see we're just trading half-field possessions. There's very little transition since that pipe shot that was converted.
Especially in the second half, it was 7-7 at halftime. That might be shaping up to be even higher scoring than we were on pace for at halftime, and they've slowed down. Kelly's pass for Solomon off the mark. Oscar Hertz, 33, has it.
33 is a menace. Long pass.
Carolina takes it back.
Yeah, they left Cook in no man's land there in a triple team. That's why you don't want to clear up the box side. The substitution box is not your friend as a clearing team.
Got trapped by Tar Heels. Looked like Chris Webber in the national championship.
That's exactly right. You pull up your dribble there, and next thing you know, you're cornered. Flag denotes possession for Carolina. Flag down against Brown. Shot clock at 45. A free attempt, so to speak, for North Carolina here.
Henry Schertzinger, number 2.
Ouch.
Tillman right off the foot of Silas Newsom, a 6'5" pull. Let's check on that flag.
Yeah, as a goaltender, man, you got to get out and thank and congratulate your defenders for stepping in the way, for blocking shots. And we've seen in the last couple championship weekends, blocking shots is important. There's the slash, a little frustration on the turnover, and it's just a sloppy one-handed back check. Nothing good happens with one hand. But if you're Terry Alt in goal, you got to get out to Silas Newsom and be like, hey, Silas, man, great job taking that shot, blocking that shot.
Counting out the passes here on the extra man opportunity. After 10 passes, Chris Gray lets it rip. Three passes is all it takes. Cole Herbert's got a hat trick.
Kelly to Herbert.
What's up, Jones?
Jones.
Oh, hey, Jones!
Jones.
Jones.
Woo! Jonettes?
It's keeping up with the Jonases now.
Try to keep up, whoever you are.
Stay ahead in the all-new Tundra.
USAA is made for the safe pilots, like Sergeant Hayden, who won't return a call until the engine's cool. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
Back in front, Colin Krieg with a season-high 15 saves.
The lefty was the top freshman goalie in the country in 2021, but man, his fundamentals are sound. He's got a good stance, he's balanced, he holds his feet, he doesn't flop. And then here, look at that. Backpedaling, he's able to snare that. The focus, all driven from a work ethic. Talked about it earlier, how many, this is a guy who loves to be in the goal and loves to be shot on. He's very process-oriented. He's willing to spend the time in his goal. He's analytical, he's always looking at film. Talks about his shoulders and how he likes to keep those hands off the chest. And look at the communication skills. Leadership, his biggest test right now, surrounded by an inexperienced close defense.
Joe Bresci was telling us he's so loose between the pipes. He'll be dancing, he'll be singing some tunes. We asked the coach, is he a good singer? He said yes, just for his ego, I'll say yes. As Zach Tucci wins another faceoff. He has been dominant in the circle for Carolina. There's a flag on the field.
Should be two. There's going to be
There's
two.
another. And another. Every single flag is on the field.
Seems like a lot of chirping on a Wednesday here in Chapel Hill. Not coming from the coaches, but I think these teams are fired up, man. Midweek games have a frantic feel to them, don't they? They're just different.
Brown 5 with a push. Brown 5, push, 30 seconds. Brown 24 with a check. 1 minute. Brown 24. 1 minute. Brown 24, check. 1 minute.
I love how they say it twice.
30-second penalty in a minute.
2 times.
You can never be too careful.
Is that like a Sopranos nickname, like Timmy 2 times, because he's the ref that says everything twice?
I'll be
This is
honest
big
with you,
here.
I've never seen Sopranos.
Really? Oh,
Never seen it.
I know you're young.
I got time. I got HBO Max. I'll get on it.
Countdown to 30.
Start at the beginning.
All right, so Carolina with a big opportunity here. 2-man up. They just scored for the first time on the extra man opportunity.
Defense in a box or a diamond, and everyone's sharing the middle.
Kelly inside, put home by Cole Herbert. Have a day, young fella. 4 goals for the sophomore.
They found a role for the sophomore, and that's as a center or a power forward, just in the middle there with his big frame. He's just able to catch and redirect. The defense is surrounding him, but no one has an impactful check. No one has a check that's going to leave a mark. I mean, you got to take arms defensively there, and Herbert, it's like, thanks, coach, man. I love this spot. I'll play a man up any day of the week. You see the reception on the sideline. I'll tell you one thing about Carolina. They've always had a certain brotherhood. Spent a day with that program a couple years ago, and just got the general sense that the guys on the team loved one another. There's a lot to that.
There's another win for Tucci. He's now won 17 of 23. What is it about Joe Bresci's personality that makes that culture happen?
Well, as I said earlier, I think it's that positivity. I think that's backed up by a fiery intensity from their assistant coaches. Kevin Unterstein is their defensive coordinator. He's a battler. He's a warrior. Dave Metzbauer is got the mind of a savant, but he also is very intense and focused. So it's a nice yin and yang to Bresci. And I think Bresci, as an alum, knows the place. He knows the fabric, the culture. He knows the academic demands. He knows what the social life's like. He knows where the hidden pitfalls of the experience are like. And there's a lot of added value in that. Carolina's not going to be in any kind of rush now with a 2-goal margin. You've got to be careful with your turnovers. You'd hate to turn it over and have a quick Brown run out. So keep the ball behind the net as much as possible.
20 turnovers for Carolina today.
That might be a reset.
Shot from Kelly.
I think it's a reset. I think it was a save. I thought I heard a save or no? Nope, no save.
Still one on the timer, yeah.
Okay, the time is now for Brown.
We talked a little bit about that run and gun offense. They got to move pretty quickly here as we approach 2.5, down by 2.
Brown's got 2 timeouts. You might want to use one here.
And that's what they do.
Mike Daly took over Brown in 2017, 10-win season. As I said earlier, 3 titles, 3 NCAA titles at Division III Tufts before taking the Brown job. I think the differences in this game are the specialties for North Carolina. Colin Krieg between the pipes, and then the work of Zach Tucci at faceoffs, and his mates Andrew Tyre and Chase Mullins. Carolina has been dominant off the draw, winning the whistle, directing the ball to teammates. Connor Marr, 31 in Reds, had a big day off the ground. This was the violation against Brown that I didn't exactly agree with. You could see call for withholding. I thought the Carolina player put their foot in such a position. There's Tucci. No relation to Stanley.
Zach only 4 for 15 Saturday against Ohio State. And Inacio has bounced back in a big way today.
57% last season was Zach in the ACC, which is, saying something else. The ACC's got strong face-off play. 5 goals. So what I like about Tucci and Tyre is they both can handle the ball. Here's our game summary. Carolina led 3-0, and Brown tied it up at 4, took a 6-5 lead, and then basically it's been a 1-goal game since that stage, middle second quarter.
Out of the timeout, another save by Colin Krieg. That's his 16th today. Got a broken stick. Yeah.
So momentarily man up. And now Carolina should use a timeout.
And Joe Bresci calls it. So timeout Carolina. Both teams have used 1 timeout now in the second.
Tell you, I'm
52
seeing
on the shot clock.
Drew, I'm seeing too many sticks break. I know everyone wants a light stick, but like, you're in the heat of battle here, and you make a check. You need to trust your equipment that it's not going to break on you. And I've seen 4 so far this season that have left teams vulnerable defensively. I was watching tape of Maryland from last year. 2 goals at critical times in the playoffs. Guys breaking their sticks. You can't have that happen defensively.
So you think guys might want to use a heavier stick?
You can't have a broken stick. Just Kevin Unterstein talking about defense now. 52 on the shot clock. Carolina's played exclusively man-to-man defense in this game. I'd be shocked if they went to a zone. Coach Bresci is a head coach that likes to have multiple schemes.
When we check out some of the ACC games coming up on the schedule, Penn and Duke, that'll be a lot of fun. All these games will be really fun. What catches your eye here, Q?
Well, I thought Penn looked really good in a loss to Georgetown last week, and then Duke picked it up a notch in the second half yesterday. We are Chris Cotter, myself, and Paul Carcaterra will be at Klockner, Syracuse, Virginia at noon, and then Georgetown Notre Dame might be the game of the weekend. We can watch that game on ESPN+.
Boy, it's number 3 in the nation. Irish have only played once this year. Should be a lot of fun. Krieg stands tall one more time. 17 saves for the sophomore.
Krieg is solid as a rock. Angle play there. There's nothing to shoot at, and the rebound control.
Open net for Carolina. They will slow it down with a 2-goal lead, approaching a minute to play.
Brown made a goalie change to Cam Fiore because he's a little more mobile, and he'll be coming out of the net for a double team here in a moment.
Watch out for 31. There he is. Good look. Kelly has it, scores it. Carolina leads by 3, under a minute to play. It's a hat trick for the senior.
Empty netter, good execution, speed by Schertzinger, and a pass. You want to attack that goalie. Good catch by Kelly. 3-goal margin.
Eight points for Jacob Kelly today. What a game for him, and what a game for Zach. Don't call me Stanley Tucci. He has dominated the faceoffs. Krieg has been phenomenal between the pipes. Brown only down by 3 despite that cue is pretty impressive.
It was a good outing for Brown, and there's a lot of potential. The Ivy League's going to be difficult this season. I loved what I saw from Penn and Yale last week. Cornell's strong also. But this is a bounce-back win for Carolina. They host Johns Hopkins on Sunday.
It's about to get really tough for UNC. Hopkins, Denver, and Virginia, the next 3 games on the slate. And their 7-game homestand to open the season. So UNC bounces back from the loss against Ohio State. Carolina moves to 3-1 with a 3-goal win over Brown.